community Q&A. We're going to start adding these into our podcasts on a regular basis. Well, not every single podcast, depending on how much content we have. But we do want to make sure we're answering community questions. We're getting a lot of emails, and we can't give you always a one-on-one detailed response, so we'll put them in the podcast when we can. Okay, today's questions where the client asks, what if it doesn't work? So this is, the context is hypnosis.
A hypnosis session. You do something.
You're working with, or you're doing an onboarding Zoom call or something with a new client. The client says, well, what if it doesn't work?
So the client saying this up front at the beginning of the session.
They want to know, before I sign up, what if it doesn't work?
Well, I'd be wondering, first of all, if the client was completely committed to change.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like it's giving them an off-ramp if it doesn't work.
And there's a good opportunity for the hypnotist to explain to the client that the onus for change is still upon the client.
This is what I was hoping
you have
we'd
to be
bring up.
involved in the session. You have to actually want the change. In fact, I was just thinking about other questions that have come in that are kind of similar, like, can you make someone want to change with hypnosis?
Right. That's a good point.
And I don't think that's on our list, is it?
No, it's not. But you'd have to have somebody who's already at threshold of being willing to be made to want to change. So they already want to do it.
That's what I was thinking. Like and I know we're deviating from the question a little bit here, but
like
could you make somebody want to quit smoking if they don't want to quit smoking?
I think it's highly unlikely. I never worked to bring people a threshold. Remember, Chris, with this whole thing, what if it doesn't work? Guy came to me in my office in the late 1990s when I had the office in Toronto, and you know the story. He said to me, I've seen Tony Robbins, Richard Bandler, and he named a third one. I can't remember who. And he said, they couldn't help me. Now it's your turn to try.
It's your turn to fail, in other words.
I'm not going to be your next failure.
Yeah, exactly.
And he was gleeful about it. Like Jack the freaking Glee smile.
And this is where I was thinking. It's like, let's say somebody wants to quit smoking, but they're not at threshold, because if they were, then they would be easy to get to change, right? But you can help someone who wants to do something get to the threshold that will allow them to actually make that change.
Make the change.
In hypnosis, we can stir up emotions, and we can do things. We can take them through experiences. We can't just cast magic rays from our eyes and hands.
Don't you think a lot of that comes from just a misunderstanding and thinking that hypnosis is somehow giving direct suggestions that will happen?
You will want to quit smoking.
I see you doing the Disney World point. That's really good.
You hate cigarettes. The smell disgusts you. From now on, every time you think of cigarettes, you think of hitting yourself in the face or whatever nonsense. It doesn't work that way,
The client has to be at threshold. And again, you nailed it in the beginning with this question. It's incumbent upon the client to do the work. The hypnotist is the director, but they have to play the freaking part. They have to play the role on their side.
If they want to make the change and they're committed to making the change and interacting with you and allowing you to help them make that change, they'll make the change.
They'll make the change.